Welcome back to Boost in Motion, everybody, and today I'm going to do a DIY on how to install hub-centric spacers for your car, but also I'm going to just give you the reasons why you may want to put hub-centric spacers on your car and how to pick the right size. So let's begin. But before you do that, please, if you've watched those videos, press like at the end and comment, like or dislike. It is what it is. I have no problem. But please, to subscribe to the channel. I'm really trying to grow it. I appreciate all you guys watching. My channel has really grown. I love you guys. Let's begin. What you want to do is you want to clean and prep the surface. Get a brake cleaner from AutoZone, Advanced Auto Parts, whatever, Pet Boys, and clean off the brake surface, this mounting face. Or also on top of that, if you can get a brass brush or a steel wheel, you can go around the edge a little bit just to remove some of the surface rust, because this is where the surface, the mating points will be. Don't do so much the steel brush because this may remove too much metal, but I would recommend a brass brush and just go over it, go over the teeth and go over everything, just make sure everything's clear. Alright, on to the next step. This is a press-in hub-centric spacer. What does that mean? You see the studs here? They're pressed in, inside. Now, there are a different type of spacers out there called slip-on spacers. They will not come with these studs built in. It will just be the metal itself, and you would have to bolt it to the hub. It'll bolt to the hub. There'll be no lug nuts that you would need to use, and you'll just put the wheel on top of this. But notice, if this was a slip-on spacer, how is that wheel gonna meet up to with that? Period. So that's why most hub-centric spacers I've noticed go down to about a 15 millimeter, because the reason being is this stud may stick out too much and hit the back of the face of the wheel, and also anything under 15 millimeter usually is just a slip-on. In that case, you will need to get extended studs, but those extended studs will be installed on your car. Just get the hub-centric ones. Much more easier for you, unless you need about 5 millimeters of clearance, because anything past 5 millimeters, you might not have enough of the stud to actually the stud so that the lug nut could screw on. Alright, so let's begin. Alright, mines are used, so I've been doing this for quite a while. I have spacers on all my cars for about over 10 years. What you want to do first is find the appropriate hub spacer for your car, and I mean hub-centric spacer. Why you keep saying hub? Why not spacer? You might get spacers that don't have this little raised edge. You see this little raised edge here? That is where the mating surface or the hub of your wheel right there, sits. If you don't have this little rigid edge on the top of it, the wheel won't sit circular or pretty much have the right diameter, or sit, how can I say it? It won't sit properly. So when you're driving the car, you may have vibrations, you may have wheel shaking, wheel hop, just because you got a wheel spacer without that edge. So get the appropriate edge for your year, make, and model, no matter if it's an Audi, Infiniti, Volkswagen, Dodge. Get the appropriate hub-centric spacers. Google is your friend. Second, make sure you get it with the proper lug nuts, and also what the thickness is measured from the side. So 25 millimeters is about an inch, right? And the lowest I've seen hub-centric spacers go is about 15 millimeters, which is almost a little over half an inch. Now, you guys may be curious. Spacer, and boom, there you go. Notice that it sits properly in there. It rotates, but it sits properly in there. Now you're gonna take these. Now you're gonna take these lug nuts and you're gonna screw them in. Now you're gonna do that all the way around. Let's move on to the next step. Head on. I want you to tighten all 4 of these. You may have to use a skinny socket, something such as this type of socket. Some sockets, or you can use a regular socket, but this is mostly used on wheels. But some sockets that you might buy just regularly from your tool set may fit also. But what you're gonna want to do is drill all of them on, right? Boom, 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 and let's go on to the next step. What to do next is, once you have these tightened up, this is the most important step, and I highly recommend that you don't do this unless you have this. This is a torque stick, or it's a torque stick or torque wrench, or whatever you want to call it. What I'm gonna do is torque down these nuts all lug nuts, all down to 90 foot-pounds, or you can go up to 100, but I'm going to put them to 90 foot-pounds. This car is somewhere around 87 foot-pounds. But the reason being, if you do this without a torque wrench, you don't know what the correct amount of clamping force it would be for each one of these. That is very important, because you can put the wheels on this, and it may stay on there, but you don't know what the clamping force is between this hub face and the back of this spacer. So this is the most important thing, because if you don't do this, you can kill yourself. And I don't want you guys to do this. So I highly advise that if you don't have a torque stick, don't do this. All right? Now, the next step you guys to do is get a flathead and stick it in here. Reason being, you want to put it between the vanes. When you go down to torque this, it's going to rotate the hub assembly this way. And if you don't have this here, it's going to spin and you won't be able to torque it. So, you're going to get your socket. You're going to put it on there. You're going to set your torque stick. Look up how to set a torque stick on YouTube, guys. I already have it set to 90. You're going to put it on. And you're going to do something like this. Of course, you can do this standing up. But I'm just doing it on video so you can kind of see. And you're going to keep going. And keep going until you hear a click. I'm going to stand up and do it. Once you hear that click, stop. That means you're around 90 foot-pounds, okay? And you're going to do that in a star pattern. All the way around. See? Keep going. Mind you, I put this on with the electric gun. And it doesn't tell you what the proper amount of the clamping force is. So do this all the way around. And once you have that, do the same thing for the wheel. Put the wheel back on the face. And once again, torque the standard lug nuts down to about 90 foot-pounds. Lower the car, drive it. Do it all the way around. But lower the car, drive it so you don't hear no random noises. And after about 50 to 100 miles, I want you guys to take off this wheel and go back to these lug nuts and re-torque them. Yes, I mean after 100, because you never know. It may not have settled all the way. Most of the cases, you don't have to, but I highly recommend re-torque it, because it may be in your car for the next 5, 10, 20, 30,000 miles. You never know. Okay? Alright, guys, so if you like the video, like it, share, subscribe. I'm trying to grow the channel. Let's move on to the next thing. Check out my other videos on my YouTube. Thank you. What I should do is, once you put it on the face of the hub, I want you guys to hand thread these on before you use the gun or the wrench or whatever. Just hand thread it first, because you want to make sure you want to put the lug nuts back on properly without stripping the studs, okay? So hand thread it. Once you have everything hand threaded, hit it with the impact gun or hit it with the ratchet set or whatever you have, the breakup bar, whatever, tighten it. You have to bring the wheel down. It has to touch the floor. Once it touches the floor, then you tighten it, and then you just when it just touches the ground, but also you use the torque wrench finally before you finally drop the jack completely. Okay, you want to make sure that everything is tight and torqued, and I don't want any issues. I don't want you guys to get hurt. So this is a short video. If you like the video, if you dislike the video, leave it in the comments. If you want me to do other installs or just ask for my next project, just leave it in the comments. And if you're just tired of hearing my voice, hey, whatever, don't subscribe. But I would like you to subscribe to the channel. I just try to do basic installs and everything. So thank you guys. I hope you guys have a great day. Enjoy.